It seems like such a simple concept. We tell our toddler what to do, they listen and do it. But if you're a toddler parent, you know that's rarely how it works. Today, we're breaking down the science behind why toddlers seem to struggle with listening and what we can do to make things easier for everyone. First, let's talk about what we mean when we say our toddler won't listen. Usually, we're expecting them to stop what they're doing, pay attention to our words, process what we're saying, remember what we asked, and follow through with the request. That's actually a lot of complex brain processes happening all at once. For a toddler whose brain is still developing, this is like asking them to juggle while riding a unicycle. It's a bit much. If you've been to my channel before, you probably know I like to talk about brain development. A toddler's brain is still under major construction. The part of their brain responsible for things like following directions, remembering instructions, and controlling impulses, that's the prefrontal cortex, is barely online at this age. It actually doesn't even begin to come online until usually 4 or 5, sometimes later, and it doesn't finish developing until our mid-20s. Think about a computer when you have too many windows open. It starts to slow down, right? A toddler's brain is like that, but with way less processing power to begin with. When we give them verbal instructions, especially when they're engaged in something else, their brain literally cannot process everything at once. Now that we understand the brain science piece, let's look at some other reasons why toddlers might seem like they're not listening. First is environment and timing. Think about it. We're often asking our toddler to listen when they're deeply engaged in play, which is literally their work, or when there's a lot going on around them. Their brain can only handle so much input at once, and play is usually going to win over our requests. Then we have processing language. Here's something interesting about language development. Toddlers actually understand way more words than they can say. But understanding words and being able to process complex instructions are two very different things. When we give multiple instructions, like put your shoes on, grab your coat, and get your backpack, their brain gets overwhelmed, trying to hold onto and process all of those steps at once. This is especially true when they're focused on something else, like that super interesting toy that they're playing with. Their brain is already full processing that activity, making it even harder to take in and act on our words. Then we have their need for independence. Toddlers have a need for control. This is a huge part of their development. Sometimes what looks like not listening is actually their growing need for autonomy. They're not being defiant. They're practicing being their own person. So what do we do with all this information? Here are some strategies that work with your toddler's brain development instead of against it. Get physical. Instead of calling across the room, get down on their level and make eye contact. This helps their brain focus on one input, you, instead of competing with everything else around them. I know this seems like more work for you, but isn't yelling across the room 10 million times exhausting too? Keep it simple. Give one instruction at a time using clear, simple language. Instead of, it's time to clean up your toys and get ready for bed and brush your teeth, try, first, let's pick up the blocks. Make it visual. Think about how much easier it is to follow a recipe when you could see the pictures of each step. Your toddler's brain works the same way. Use gestures, demonstrations, or even actual pictures to help them understand what you're asking. You can check out the description for a link to my printable visual schedule cards to help with this. Add connection. If you've seen my other videos, you know I talk a lot about co-regulation. When we connect before we direct, we're much more likely to get cooperation. A quick hug, a playful moment, or just getting down on their level can make a huge difference. Make it playful. Toddlers learn and cooperate through play. It's their primary language. Instead of repeatedly asking them to come to the table, try, let's hop like bunnies to dinner, or can your toy dinosaur show you how to get to the table? Now let's talk about how to set ourselves and our toddlers up for success. Create predictable routines. When your toddler knows what to expect next, they're more likely to cooperate. Their brain doesn't have to work as hard to process new information. This is why things like visual schedules can be so helpful. And I have a whole video on this that I will link down in the description box below. Set up the environment. Make it easier for your toddler to listen by reducing distractions when you need their attention. Turn off the TV, move away from exciting toys, or give a transition warning before you need them to switch tasks. Build in time. Remember that your toddler's brain needs more time to process things than ours does. Give plenty of notice before transitions and build in extra time so you're not rushing, which usually leads to more resistance. A visual timer is a great tool to help with this. I will leave a link to the one that I use in the description box below. Check your expectations. This is huge. Are we expecting something that's actually not developmentally appropriate from our kids? Sometimes what we think is not listening is actually perfectly normal for their age and stage. This can be tricky to know if you don't have a background in child development, which is exactly what I'm here for. Get support for your parenting and learn how to understand what to expect from your toddler or preschooler by joining my membership, the Life with Littles Lounge, which starts at only $7 a month. Visit the link in the description box for more information. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but what about when they're running in the street or doing something dangerous? This is where we need different strategies because safety isn't negotiable. In these moments, it's okay to be super firm and direct. You might need to physically move your child to safety first and then explain later. Your tone of voice can also help communicate urgency, and yes, you may need to yell here, but save this for real safety issues so that it maintains its impact. Remember, your toddler isn't giving you a hard time. They're having a hard time with skills that their brain is still developing. When we understand this and can adjust our approach, we can make things easier for everyone. If you want more support with this and other toddler challenges, like I said, come join us in the Life with Littles Lounge for just $7 a month. You'll get access to live Q&A sessions, my signature course, The Balanced Parenting Method, a supportive community of parents walking the same path as you, and so much more. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful, share it with another toddler parent who might need this information, and subscribe for more tips to help you love your life with littles. Thanks for watching, and remember, you've got this. I'll see you next time.